In today's video, I'm going to showcase the best wildcard draft ahead of game week 14. Before we get into the team, I just wanted to say thank you for 2,500 subscribers on the channel. Now we're on the road to 5k, so if you do enjoy any of the content, be sure to subscribe to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. But starting off in goal, we have gone for David Raya, arguably one of the best goalkeeper options that you can go for in the game at the moment. Aaron Ramsdale's performance against Brentford, it wasn't overly convincing, was it, to be honest? So I think Raya has secured himself as the #1 goalkeeper for Arsenal, the #1 Premier League goalkeeper as well. Arsenal as well have the best XG conceded in the league, only Manchester City in second, and, you know, they're always up there. But Arsenal first by a few little points as well, so, you know, that's not a little bit out of the norm. Usually it's Manchester City clear by a long way, but Arsenal showing that they've got good kind of defensive data and, you know, plenty of clean sheets to go with that. Some strong fixtures coming up for them over the festive period as well. You're looking at Wolves, Luton, Villa, Brighton, Liverpool, West Ham and Fulham. Definitely some clean sheet potential in there for David Raya and the first defender in this team, William Saliba as well. We've gone for the double pairing, like I said, with the good underlying data that Arsenal are showing. A lot of teams as well at the moment, clean sheets seem quite hard to come by within the game at the moment, and defenders aren't really kind of screaming out to us. So we've gone for the kind of double up here of the Arsenal defence. Arguably the two most nailed defenders within that side. I think if you can get Gabriel, maybe you can't afford Saliba, go for Gabriel. But I think over this festive period, with plenty of games coming up, Champions League football as well for Arsenal, I do think he will be rotated a little bit more than William Saliba. So I think he does justify his extra 0.5 million that he is over Gabriel, just down to the fact that he's probably going to play more fixtures over this busy, congested period. But like I said, Arsenal, really good underlying data to go with some of their strong defensive performances and clean sheets as well. So that is why we have gone for the double up in the defence. Moving on to our second defender, and it is Ethan Pinnock, a player I was very hot on potentially bringing into my team. I went with Thiago Silva. That one quite didn't work out so well, did it? But Ethan Pinnock for me, I think if you're looking for a budget defender, maybe you've had enough of the Crystal Palace boys. They failed to keep a clean sheet in their past 3 appearances. Then I would be looking at somebody like Ethan Pinnock. Brentford are 5th for XG conceded in the league. Ethan Pinnock as well has one of the highest XG amongst defenders as well. Plenty of attacking threat from corners, throw-ins, all that good stuff. And Brentford as well, one of the top teams in the division for attacking data from set pieces as well. So it would not surprise me to see Ethan Pinnock pick up a few clean sheets and potentially some attacking returns as well, which would be a nice little mega haul. Some really good fixtures coming up for Brentford as well. Luton obviously in game week 14. Brighton, you'd imagine they keep a clean sheet against. Sheffield United in game week 16. They do have the blank, so that is the only thing to consider if you are potentially bringing in any Brentford or Manchester City players. There is a blank in game week 18. We're still waiting for that double game week to be confirmed, so just keep that in mind if you are potentially looking at eyeing up any of their players. Moving on to our final defender within the side, and it is Tsimikas. He's in here for Liverpool's kind of next 3 fixtures, which are very, very strong indeed. We've got Fulham, we've got Sheffield United, and we have got Crystal Palace. Obviously, you know, he showed so far this season when he gets the attacking data, you know, and when he gets the opportunities, he can put in some mega hauls as well. 4.7 million. Liverpool as well up there. I think they're 4th XG conceded so far this season. So again, a really good defensive side. Tsimikas coming in at a nice cheap price point as well. And we've got other good rotating defensive options in Aït-Nouri and Charlie Taylor as well to rotate around with our back line. But let's move on. Let's keep the train going. Let's move into the midfield. Now, we're going to start off with a little bit of a knee-jerk kind of player here, and it is Morgan Gibbs-White from Nottingham Forest. Obviously got a goal and an assist at the weekend against Brighton, but there's some really positive fixtures coming up for Nottingham Forest, especially the next 3. You're looking at Everton, Fulham, Wolves, then it's Tottenham, and then it's Bournemouth. So I think after that Bournemouth game, you probably would be looking to sell him. But at 5.7 million, I think lower than 2% owned at the moment, put up some really good data and put, you know, it was an impressive performance from him. It's what we saw from him last year. He's kind of failed to kind of deliver any of that so far this season, but maybe this is the ticking point where it starts to click in gear for him and for Nottingham Forest with some strong fixtures coming up. So yeah, I think I would be, you know, cautious, but I think I definitely would potentially be considering bringing in a Nottingham Forest player. And with Morgan Gibbs-White as well, you do get the set pieces that he does have in his locker as well. Moving on to our next midfielder, and it is Mohamed Salah. I don't think I really need to say too much on this one. He is going to be your captain as well for game week 14 with Fulham at home. He is just picking up attacking return, attacking return, attacking return every single week at the moment. So I genuinely don't think there's any kind of convincing that I need to do. He is fully justifying his price point, offers himself as a great captain as well, with some really strong fixtures coming up for Liverpool as well in the next few game weeks. Right, moving on to a player that nobody kind of seems to be talking about in the FPL community, and it's Anthony Gordon, to be honest. He's picked up some really impressive kind of point scoring over the past few weeks. Obviously picked up 2 assists and a goal against Chelsea over the weekend. He got 7 points versus Arsenal as well. And the Newcastle fixtures that are coming up over the festive period are quite good, to be honest. They do have Champions League football and, you know, some injury issues kicking about. They had 3 goalkeepers on the bench at the weekend, so there's plenty of injury issues, but I think that means that Anthony Gordon's potentially going to play more games than he would if, you know, they were full strength. You know, you got players like Harvey Barnes that would potentially be rotating in and out. A full strength side, maybe he gets less minutes, but at the moment it seems like he's a little bit undroppable for Eddie Howe's side. But like I said, the fixtures are definitely there. Manchester United at home, Everton, Tottenham, Fulham, Luton and Nottingham Forest. So some definite positive fixtures that I would be looking to target with Anthony Gordon over the Christmas period. Moving on to our next midfielder, completing, well, not actually completing the midfield. There's one more to go. But the second to last midfielder, it is Cole Palmer. Obviously, it was a little bit of a disappointing performance for him and for Chelsea against Newcastle. I brought him in this week and that was a little bit frustrating, but still has some of the best expected goal involvement over the past 5 game weeks amongst all midfielders at every single price range, on penalties as well. And the Chelsea fixtures are taking a turn in the next few weeks. It's Brighton this week, which again, they are yet to keep a clean sheet, so you would imagine Chelsea would score in that game. Then it's Manchester United. Honestly, calling that game could go completely like one way or the other. Then it's Everton, Sheffield United, Wolves, Crystal Palace and Luton. Some definite strong fixtures, so I want to get in on that Cole Palmer train nice and early before the fixtures do turn. So yeah, I would be recommended to get him on the wild card. Right, moving on to our actual final midfielder, and it is Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. Like we said with Ethan Pinnock, the fixtures coming up for Brentford are stupendous. Obviously in game week 18 there is that blank, and with Haaland, you know, it's pretty obvious that Haaland's going to be in this team as well. You know, you are going to have a contingency plan in place for game week 18. Maybe you bench all 3 and hope for the best, or maybe you do activate that wildcard button in game week 18. There's definitely some strong fixtures in that game week. You're looking at Villa with Sheffield United. Newcastle as well have a really good fixture. Let me take a look. Newcastle have got Luton that week, so you could easily go for 2 triple ups there with a free hit. We will have a video coming up about that, so do kind of subscribe, keep notified of all the channel updates coming up. But yeah, definitely something to potentially consider if you are going for them. Same with like all of these midfielders. Bryan Mbeumo leading the way for expected goal involvement over the past 5 game weeks. He's on penalties as well. It was actually so close to getting an attacking return at the weekend against Arsenal as well. Cleared off the line for him. So yeah, just that little bit more would have helped him get across the line, but it is what it is. I still think he's a great asset to pick up. Just like I said, have a contingency plan in place for game week 18. Right, moving on to our final kind of 2 players within the side. It is Erling Haaland. Like I said, you know, Tottenham at home this week. They're on the back of 3 losses in a row. You'd expect him to go and score. It seems like he's back in his kind of old groove of just picking up goals every single game. You're looking at the Luton game in game week 16 as a captaincy option as well. So definitely some strong vibes for Haaland. But again, same with the Brentford boys. Make sure you do have a contingency plan in place for game week 18 with that blank coming up for Manchester City and Brentford. But I wouldn't be going without Erling Haaland. I think you need to have him. It's a little bit silly to go without him, to be honest. Right, finishing up our attacking lineup, and it is a little bit of a rogue one. It's Ollie Watkins who's going to finish the lineup. They've got Bournemouth away this week. Then it's City, then it's Arsenal, then it's Brentford. So not, you know, looking at that in kind of isolation isn't good, But I think it's like he's, in the past 37 games, I think he's got 28 goals and 9 assists. Like, the man is just a machine in front of goal. There aren't too many other forwards that are kind of catching my eye. As you can see, we have Isak on the bench as well. Obviously, he can rotate in and out with those difficult fixtures that Ollie Watkins has, but he just seems to be a little bit of a bagsman. And I think in the forward area at the moment, there aren't too many quality players that kind of really catching my eye, to be honest. You could go with Darwin Núñez, but again, he didn't really shine in the game against Manchester City. I think there might be some disciplinary actions from Klopp against him with his kind of comments towards Guardiola at the end of the game as well. So he potentially could be dropped for like 2 of the positive fixtures that he'd want him to play. And then every other forward, just not really doing it. Ollie Watkins is at least still picking up points. I know the fixtures aren't there, but, you know, he's still picking up points, so you can't really complain, to be honest. So I would be looking to keep him if I was on my wildcard. Right, let's have a quick run through of the bench. We've got Areola, 4.2 million, but West Ham can't keep clean sheets to save their lives. Isak, we spoke about, scored on his return from injury as well. Very similar to Anthony Gordon. There's plenty of positive fixtures coming up for Newcastle, so definitely something you want to be looking to invest in. 8 Nori's there as just kind of a cheap defensive option. Wolves have got some good fixtures coming up. Burnley, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Brentford, Everton over the Christmas period, So, you know, just rotates nicely with the other defenders that we do have in our side. And then Charlie Taylor, he's there, nice and easy, cheap vibes, plays a lot of minutes. But yeah, it's just a shame that Burnley are just a little bit crap. But yeah, that was the Game Week 14 wildcard. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments section. If you do have any questions about your team as well, get them in to the comments, as I will try to read and answer every single one. But thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy the rest of your day.